Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th slate of NBA games. Unfortunately, we only have two NBA games, but I don't think it's really a bad way to do things because there's going to be two games. They're both going to be over by the time of the kickoff for the Super Bowl, and then we can put all of our attention on the Super Bowl and all the bets that we did put on there. By the way, after this video, probably like an hour later, there will be a Super Bowl best bets video if you guys do want to check that out. I have two legit plays, and then I have a couple troll bets like the coin flip, color of the Gatorade, and then if the first kickoff is going to be returned or if it's going to be a touchback. So just a couple troll bets. They're just for fun. But go ahead and check that video out if you guys do want to see them. My editor did a great job on them. I just got done watching the video, like rewatching it, and he did a fantastic job with some of the animations and the color scheme, stuff like that. So make sure to check it out. As of right now, we are less than 600 subscribers away from 4,000. Hopefully, we can hit that by the end of the month. I want to do another parlay giveaway for you guys. I want to hit one so bad. I would love to give you guys, all the money in the world. That's kind of where I'm at. I really just want to get back to how fantastic you guys are. So hopefully we can hit that. But first, before we dive into it, I did just want to go ahead and give a shout out to our members. We do have Richie Sherman, our first ever member here on the channel. We had Chief Facer, Professor Pedro, Blame the Flame, Ray Martinez, Classic Second Line, Brendan Turlington, and then we had two new ones today. We had EJV, 1234, and Nick Whitaker. So thank you guys so much for showing support on the channel and joining the membership. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and do a quick recap as of yesterday. Pretty good day. We ended up going 3-1 on the day. Can't argue with that. It doesn't really, there's only one way it can be better than that, and that is if we get the clean sweep. But I should have known, and I'll explain that in a second. So we had our first play of the day. We had Anthony Simons over 20.5 points. It was looking a little rough. He started out like 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 in the first quarter. Ends up with 30, so luckily that one did end up cashing for us. Then we had the Memphis Grizzlies minus 5.5. This one was a sweat, I'll be honest. They ended up winning by exactly 7, so the books were very sharp on this bet. I'm just glad that I got it at minus 5.5, or even, if you got it any larger of a spread than minus 6.5, I apologize. But I was lucky enough to get this one as soon as it opened. Then we had the Raptors minus 3 versus Denver. Denver ends up winning outright by like 1 point, I believe. I should have known. The Nuggets are hot right now. And they're just playing fantastic basketball. So I should have known, but the Raptors had been really good. They had covered 8 straight, so I just put my faith into them. But then we had Jimmy Butler under 5.5 assists. He only finishes with 3. So we ended up going 3-1. Fantastic, another fantastic day. So let's go ahead and hop into today's plays. Like I said, I only have 2 plays. One in the Hawks and Celtics game, and one in the Timberwolves and Indiana game. Just so we can put all of our focus on the Super Bowl. So our first play of the day is going to be Trae Young under 8.5 assists versus the Boston Celtics plus 100 odds. Now, if you go ahead and look up Trae Young's game log, you're gonna think that I'm crazy. All right, but hear me out. So yeah, his game log looks ridiculous. He has had 11, 11, 11, 13, 5, and 12 in his last 6 games. And he's been insane. All right, don't get me wrong. And the only game that he did only have 5 was because he didn't really need to pass the ball. He dropped 43. So I get it. Like, if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but hear me out. In Trae Young's career versus Boston, he's only went over this line 3 times. So not really tremendous odds there. And when it comes to the point guard position, Boston actually gives up the second fewest assists per game to opposing point guards. And as a team, they give up the fewest assists per game in the entire NBA as a team. So they are just really solid defensively, and they're really starting to lock it up. And recently, in their last 3 games, Boston has the best defense in the entire NBA. They allow the fewest points in the entire NBA. And so they are just trending in the right direction. They're starting to play defense, and they're really starting to pull things together. So I think that it's a very tough spot for Trae Young. Now, could he do it? Of course. But I just think that this is a pretty bad spot for him. I think he's going to try to score a lot more than he is going to try to facilitate. So that is going to be our first play of the day. Trae Young under 8.5 assists versus Boston, plus 100 odds. Our second play of the day is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves -6 versus the Indiana Pacers, minus 110 odds. Now, I watched the last game that the Pacers played. It was against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, Halliburton played fantastic. Do not get me wrong. Halliburton, he played sensational. And it looks like he is really going to blossom there in Indiana. And I'm extremely excited for it. But at the same time, he doesn't really have the greatest team around him. And with so many injuries that they do have right now, it's really just a tough spot for the Indiana Pacers. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, they have been on a road trip recently. This is the last game of a 4-game road trip before returning back home. So I do think they're going to try to make a statement in their last game of the road trip. And after a loss this year, which the Timberwolves did actually lose to my Chicago Bulls, I'm very shocked actually, but we did end up beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so the Timberwolves, after a loss, are 15-11 against the spread, so really solid. And anytime that the Timberwolves are favored, they do love to cover as well. They are 15-12 against the spread as a favorite. And Indiana, like I said, they've just been really, really struggling recently. They have not covered in 5 straight games, and they are just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. So I think this is another really tough spot for Indiana. I do like Indiana, and there will be a time where I do bet their spread because they did look really solid, but I just don't think that this is the time. So that is going to be our second play of the day, and our final play of the day, unfortunately, the Minnesota Timberwolves -6 versus the Indiana Pacers. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can hit that by the end of the month, but I just can't do that without your guys' help. So make sure to hit that sub button for me. Like I said, about an hour later, after this video goes live, I'm going to be posting a NFL video for the Super Bowl. So make sure to check that out if you guys are wanting what I'm betting for on the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Have a great rest of your day, you guys, and make sure to stay safe with all of the, Super Bowl festivities. So have a great rest of your night, you guys. Peace.